Hello everybody, welcome to today's session. In today's session, we're going to go over the fundamentals of the week, which are the strongest fundamentals of the week, and once they hit or once they're released, which currency pairs are going to be affected. With that being said, after we're done with all that, we're going to be looking at the currency pairs. How has the market opened? And so far, what potential trading opportunities we should be looking at in order to take advantage of in this New York session and for the rest of the week. So if that sounds interesting, please do stick with us until the end. Don't forget to like this video, share with a few friends that you believe will find value in it, and turn on that bell notification so that you'll be notified whenever we release content like this in the future. Starting off, today is Monday, obviously May 15th. Some fundamentals have already gone by, but I really wouldn't care about them because obviously you can see all of them are 2 stars. For those that are new to reading fundamentals, if you see a 2-star, it's an average fundamental. If you see a 1-star, it's a weak fundamental. And if you see 3 stars, it's a strong and volatile fundamental. So you shouldn't worry about 2 stars unless there are many of them and then they are arranged at the same time for the same currency pair, then they might have an impact. But if they're scattered like this, you shouldn't really worry about them. So moving on, today, obviously we still have about a couple of fundamentals. None of them really strong. The only strong fundamental is this Aussie here, Australian dollar. We'll be having a strong fundamental in about 11 hours and 51 minutes for the RBA meeting. This is a Bank of Australia. It's going to be having a meeting. Obviously, I anticipate talking about inflation and interest rates. So it's a very strong fundamental. As you can see, it's a 3-star fundamental. So you should be really careful. I wouldn't suggest anybody leaving a trade running over the Asian session that has the Aussie dollar with it. Tomorrow, I believe, will be the most volatile day of the week because every currency pair will be hit with a fundamental. Starting off the London session, we'll be having the pound fundamental. Unemployment change being the strongest, right? Unemployment change, you can see last month was 169. This year we're anticipating it to be about 160. So we might have a bearish impact on the pound. And then after that comes the euro. Euro will be having GDP. This is gross domestic product for the quarter and the year. QOQ, that's for the quarter. YOY, that's for the year. Strong fundamentals. You shouldn't ignore these. Right? So after the London session hits us with the pound and euros, with the euro fundamentals, comes the New York session. The US dollar hits us with the core retail sales, and then the CAD hits us with the core CPI. So it's a very strong fundamental. All the major currency pairs will be hit. Euro, pound, CAD, US dollar, all of them will be hit tomorrow with strong fundamentals. And just as the day ends, we'll be having a JPY, GDP, QOQ. That's for the quarter, right? So it's going to be a very strong fundamental. It's also going to be a very strong fundamental day. So you should be very careful while trading tomorrow. If you are in a trade that has these pairs, before it hits, make sure you're at break even. If the pair is not yet at stop loss, it's not yet at least in profits for you to go break even, you should consider sizing down or make sure that your risk management is on point so that even if your stop loss gets hit, you lose a percentage that you can afford to lose, you know. So we got on Wednesday we got euro fundamentals. We got the CPI, a very strong fundamental for the euro. Pound speech, I really don't worry about speeches. US dollar building pyramids, okay. We got CAD, 2-star, nothing to worry about there. US will be having crude oil inventories. So if you do trade oil, you should be very careful with this one. We got the rest of 2 stars, 3-star employment change for the Aussie. That will be released in about 59 hours. That's on Wednesday. So it's about a while until it's released. And we got the New Zealand annual budget releases, right? So on Wednesday, it's also going to be a volatile day, but not as strong as Tuesday. The euro will be having fundamentals. And the US to some extent, depending on what currency pairs you trade. And then lastly, in the Asian session, we'll be having the Aussie employment change, which will be the strongest fundamental of the day. We got on Thursday, a couple of fundamentals, not that strong. US will be having initial jobless claims. This is a very strong fundamental, the strongest fundamental of the day actually. We got CAD, New housing price index, 2-star, nothing to worry about. 3-star existing home sales, 3-star for the US. Also during the New York session on Thursday. And then finishing off the day with the Asian session, nothing really strong. On Friday, winding up the week, core retail sales will be the strongest fundamental of the day. And then the Fed Chair Powell speaks, 3 stars for the US. Euro, also President Lagarde speaks. These speeches, as I told you, I really don't worry about them unless it's a forms. Forms shake the market, but all the other speeches, nah, I really wouldn't worry about them. So for this week, you should be really careful with the fundamentals. Tomorrow on Tuesday will be the most volatile day, packed with fundamentals, followed by Wednesday. And then on Thursday, Friday, and today, obviously, they're not that much strong fundamentals. So we should just trade freely. Now let's look at the charts and see how the market has opened and what potential trades we have that we can take advantage of. Okay, starting off in front of us is USD JPY. Obviously, prices have broken above this structure here. Prices have broken above this, some kind of a double bottom. We see here, this was the bottom, this was the second bottom, this was the neckline. Prices have broken above that. So I'll be anticipating to see some kind of a retracement to retest this structure here before I actually look for buys to push me all the way until about 137.68.5, right? So that's what I'm anticipating to see happen on USD JPY. Right now, I really wouldn't take a trade, even if I see prices keep on pushing higher, because I'll just be jumping the gun. As a trader, your first responsibility is never to chase a trade. There are thousands of trading opportunities in the market. Don't chase a trade, wait for it to come to you. Let's look at another pair. Euro USD. Okay, so I believe while I was analyzing this on yesterday on the pre-market analysis, I told you guys I have a bearish bias on Euro. On Euro USD, I have a bearish bias. I'm anticipating to see prices sell. Somewhere here, there's a structure. I already drew it. I'm not sure why it's not showing. Maybe it's still loading or something. Or maybe I drew it in the higher time frames. Yeah, it looks like I drew it on the daily. So let's draw it again on the 4 hours. Okay, so it looks like the network is a little bit slow, guys. You'll have to excuse me. By the way, we do have a free Telegram channel, guys. If you're not in it, make sure that you join. It's linked in the description below. I do post updates on the markets, so you want to be sure that you're in it. So Euro USD on the 4 hours, we can see here prices have already broken below this structure. And what we were anticipating is for prices to retrace here, give us some kind of a retest, which is actually doing right now, before you actually look for a continuation and swing low with it all the way until somewhere down here. So Euro USD, that's what I'm anticipating to see happen. With GU, the trend is still bearish, obviously, as prices broke out of ascending channel pattern. So on the 4 hours here, prices, you can see, broke out of this ascending channel pattern, and I'm anticipating to see prices keep on pushing lower. However, prices have already broken back into the pattern. But if we read at the structures, we can actually see prices had a high, low, right? Lower high, lower low. Even being compared to this low was actually lower. So I'm anticipating to see prices keep on pushing lower. However, should prices break above this high, then I'll be looking for some kind of a bullish move to keep on pushing higher. But as long as prices are below here, I'll be anticipating to see a continuation on the downside. That's as far as GBP USD goes, right? We got gold. Gold, same as always. Prices didn't form any structure since yesterday, and we were anticipating to see prices break below here, give us a retest to continue pushing lower before we take any trades. So far, prices haven't given us that, so we are still just going to be watching it from afar. Euro JPY, one of my best performing pairs and one of my favorite pairs. Nowadays, I love Euro JPY and Euro USD. I don't know why. They just make me a lot of money, you know? So Euro USD, this is how the 4-hour looks like. Yesterday, prices were still below this structure, and I was like, we have to wait for prices to break above here, give us a retest before we continue. Now prices have broken above, so now what we are looking for is that retracement before we take a buy and continue pushing higher. So we should be anticipating to see some kind of a retracement before you actually take that buy trade and prices, you know, keep on pushing higher. So right now we should be just anticipating for this retracement before we take our buy trades on Euro JPY. Same thing with CAD JPY. I remember telling you yesterday that two scenarios might play out, as here prices had a lack of momentum. So we could have seen prices pull back down here, bounce to push higher to break this structure. But it looks like overnight during this Asian session, as the markets were opened, prices opened with a strong momentum. And now we should be looking for this retest on this structure here before you actually look for buy trades to take off into the stratosphere with it, right? So that's what I'm anticipating to see happen on my watch list for these pairs this week. Obviously, this is JPY. We know JPY, how it plays out, right? We're anticipating to see prices keep on pushing lower on JPYX this week. DXY, we're anticipating to see prices keep on pushing higher, obviously this week, and retracements have already begun. As yesterday, I was anticipating to see prices retrace all the way until this structure here before you actually take off, and the retracements have already begun. So I'll be looking for entries once prices reach here on the US dollar pairs. So if you found value in this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on that bell notification so that you'll be notified whenever we release content like this. Till next time, guys, appreciate you all. Take it easy out there. Peace.